Welcome, everybody, to Take Charge of Your Health. Simple steps you can do today to take control of your physical and mental health. I'm Dr. Melissa Balizan, and I am here with my friend, Kristy Russ. Welcome, Kristy.
Hi.
Hi. She is an expert in weight loss and nutrition, and so we're going to talk to her today and learn some great things.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Tell me kind of a little bit about your journey on how you became a health coach and how you're unique in doing that.
So I call myself the Maverick Pharmacist Functional Medicine Health Coach, which is a big, long title, but it is very descriptive. And of course, nobody ever knows what functional medicine is. So let me explain. I figure out the underlying reasons for why you're not feeling your best, and then I guide you step by step to fix those, rather than the Band-Aid solution that standard medicine has kind of become. So it's 100% personalized for your health issues, your lifestyle, no matter how busy it is, because we're all busy, right? And I kind of walk you through simple and sustainable strategies to help you overcome your issues permanently. So whether it's stopping the never-ending weight loss battle, the daily exhaustion, the chronic pain, the autoimmune disease, whatever's going on with your health, it's just infinitely more effective than standard medicine, which is why I've kind of stepped back from the pharmacy to do the health coaching. And then kind of being a pharmacist helps me to get better results, I find. I can take the background medical knowledge that I have from that and then apply it. And I'm also able to, order labs and prescribe medication if that's necessary, usually not. But so I kind of feel like I'm the bridge between the standard medicine and the holistic medicine, taking the best parts of both things there.
Excellent. I love that. And that's one of my things that I say. I intertwine ancient and modern, or Eastern and Western. And I think that's why we connected on such a great level. So yeah. So Kristy, tell me, you've had your own unique health challenges. So tell me, because I think that actually helped you kind of get into this more of the prevention side. So tell us a little bit about that experience and how you've been able to kind of overcome that.
Yeah, well, as most people that end up doing this sort of thing, I kind of ended up here as a result of my own health struggles. And they started when I was pretty young, actually. It was just a few years after my second child was born. And I was just so exhausted all the time. Of course, kind of just chalked it up to having two young children, but I kept getting worse and worse. And I just felt like a terrible mom. And then added to that, not only did my pregnancy weight not go away, but every year I gained an extra 2 or 3 pounds. Pretty soon found myself like 30 plus pounds overweight. And I also had really severe knee pain, and my knees were just throbbing all day long. I needed painkillers regularly. Fast forward a few years, the sleep problem started, where I was waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning for no particular reason, and then not getting back to sleep till like half hour before the alarm goes off, right? Super frustrating. And then I started having some of those typical women's hormonal issues, and I'll spare you the gory details of the period stuff, but you know, I started getting the PMS, the mood swings, which I never had before. So that was just a ton of fun for the whole family, let me tell you. And I mean, it's amazing how you hear yourself snapping at everyone and you can't actually stop it. So all of this was just a total disconnect to the person that I am. I've always been really active, energetic, and a real positive person. So this reflection in the mirror and what my life had become was just totally unrecognizable to me. And of course, I was doing all the right things, and all of the tests from the doctor came back normal. So I was shocked. I felt ripped off, to be honest, because these kind of things are only supposed to happen to people that don't take care of themselves, right? And I think what really freaked me out was that I had seen my situation enough times in the pharmacy to know where this was going. So thankfully, I'm kind of a geeky scientist type, and I started doing a whole bunch of research to figure out, if there was a way to stop these issues. And man, I learned a ton of stuff that they don't teach you in pharmacy, or medical school for that matter. And once I started applying what I learned, it was only a few short months that all of my issues went away, like all of them. And, I had some added bonuses in there too, which I was not expecting. So that was over a decade ago and still feeling fabulous. And, that's how I got started health coaching actually, because I started sharing what I'd learned with some of my pharmacy clients that were struggling still, my friends, my family, and they got great results and started sending their friends to see me. And then it just became obvious that I needed to get this information out to more people. So here I am.
That's wonderful. And and tell us a little bit about how, because you've overcome that challenge, and it's been over a decade later now. What are some things that maybe you need to do on a daily basis to keep your mindset in check, so that you don't fall back into
I,
having those challenges again?
yeah, well, I think it's just a matter of deciding that um, that you're that you don't want to go back to that space, right? Like you've been there, been there, done that, bought the shirt, all of that stuff, right? So it's just, I find like I don't follow it 100%. I don't think anybody can or should. Like life is meant to be enjoyed. I always say the 80-20 rule applies. So whatever you do most of the time is what it is. So it's not like you're feeling like you're depriving yourself. And so, but if I'm ever, like if I go on vacation or if I'm doing something, I always know that I have to do whatever I feel like doing, but I know I'm coming back to that space because otherwise I'm going to end up like I was. So it's just, yeah, I don't find it, it's not, and once you do it for a bit, it's not difficult, it's just different. And after you've done it for a while, then that becomes your new normal. So
And that's great, and that's exactly, I love that new normal, because that's exactly what we've got to do. It's that habit that we've got to develop, and it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But it's going to take some time, and it takes some weeks. But I love that. What would you say is the single most important thing that people can do today that they need to know how to live a healthy life?
honestly, I think people just really need to change up their food choices. Obviously the standard American diet, which shortens quite aptly to the acronym SAD because it truly is. Obviously all of the fast food and processed food, I don't think it comes as a surprise to anyone that that's not healthy, right? But the diet that we've been told our whole lives that is healthy, including, the new food guide, the food pyramid, it's also not healthy. It's better, but it's still very inflammatory, which is the underlying cause of pretty much every issue. That interferes with your proper bowel function, which I know isn't a really sexy topic, but it's often the underlying cause of your issues. So it's really important. The way we eat is the cause of our type 2 diabetes and obesity. It makes your body store fat. It makes you tired. And that's why you feel like you need a nap about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? It causes your cravings and makes you hungrier, which is why most people think they don't have willpower or they call themselves emotional eaters. All of those things happen from our so-called healthy diet, right? But it's a whole re-education because we have people out there, eating all this food that they think they should that they actually should be avoiding, and avoiding all this food that they really need to eat more of. We don't have time to go into it here today, but it's not difficult changes. Like I said, it's just different. And it doesn't mean you can't eat the foods you love because that's not sustainable. I always say I'm probably the most realistic health coach you'll ever meet because there's always room for, wine and cheesecake and a healthy lifestyle, I say. And
Absolutely.
probably the other major point about food that people need to know is that it is no longer physically possible to get all of the nutrients that your body needs just from the foods that you're eating, even if you're eating a perfect diet. 70, 80 years ago, sure, but not anymore. And tons of reasons for that I won't get into. But it means that taking a good quality supplement is now a necessary part of being healthy. I do like to stress the good quality part of that statement, though, because unfortunately, as a pharmacist, I mean, too, most of the supplements out there are just garbage, right? Some are better than others for sure, but there's literally only about a handful of companies making the quality that you need to give you the results that you want. So I guess that's two things. So
No, absolutely. And I love that, because I think, we as pharmacists are trying to educate people of that, that what you might see on the shelf, it's probably there because corporate someday put it on the shelf because it's going to sell, but you shouldn't be buying that. You should go and ask a pharmacist and for good quality pharmaceutical grade supplement, in which you're not going to be able to just buy off the shelf. But we've vetted some out. I know that Kristy has vetted several companies out, and myself included. And so ask, a lot of pharmacists, they have good recommendations. So, reach out to them. One thing that I would like to bring up, let's discuss, and the issue, it's that topic that we don't like to talk about, the bowel issue, but what caused a lot of inflammation. But what I'd like to pull from this is maybe something. How can a patient be able to freely ask the question of their provider, or open that conversation? Do you have any suggestions that, because I think a lot of us are afraid to talk about that. We have those issues, but we don't talk. And if our provider does ask, we might clam up. So any suggestions on maybe how to open up that conversation?
Well, I think it would depend on your provider, to be honest, because most, like I said, the looking at it from a functional medicine standpoint versus the standard medicine, like, I mean, in pharmacy, it was like, like functional medicine, it's like, yeah, you should be going every day, right? There shouldn't be any cramping. You shouldn't be on the constipated side. You shouldn't be on the diarrhea side. There's, there shouldn't be any heartburn. Like, whereas, and if you ask, if you'd asked me 10 years ago when I wasn't doing this, I would have been like, oh, it's different normal for different people. So I think most providers, your standard providers, are going to not think of it as a big deal when it really is. So, I mean, you could bring it up, but I don't know that it would get you very far. You know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah, like it's, and because the fix to it is more about the foods you're eating, as opposed to, like, let's say, because a lot of people are kind of on the constipated side, right? A lot of people go like 2-3 times a week or whatever, right? And so if you ask most pharmacists or a regular doctor, they'll just be like, it's fine as long as long as you're not straining, or or they give you a laxative or something like that. And that's not really where you want to go. That's the Band-Aid part of things. Where what you want to do is change up your food choices so that it's happening regularly, right? So, yeah, I don't know if I really answered that question.
Yeah, I know that's great. I know it's a tough topic. To talk about, but no, I think that's great. And pulling out, and maybe, feeling that comfort level, if you do talk to your provider, or maybe, you're watching and you're realizing maybe it is a food thing, and, you could follow that question up and potentially say, okay, your doc says, oh, well, yeah, let's try that. Or you go and you're realizing, what, let's try a couple of different food choices, and monitor yourself and pay attention to those, those changes of what can happen and how it affects you. And I think that's things that we typically don't pay attention to. We kind of, it's kind of like we'll tune up and we'll pay to get our oil changed in our car, and pay to get the spark plugs changed and all of this, but we really need to be in tune with our body. And sometimes a tune-up is changing the nutrition that's going in.
Yeah, your body does tell you what it likes and what it doesn't like. We're just not used to, like, we just don't know how to read those signals, and things that we've all been told that are normal or whatever really kind of aren't. And then, or you know something's up, but then you don't know what to do to fix it. Right. So that's kind of, I mean, that's really what I do in a nutshell. It's the detective hat to find out what it is, and we try different things, and then go from there. So see how
Okay.
the body reacts.
Yeah. And that's great. That's really great. So, what is one, before we get into your kind of what you're offering us, what is one thing, one nugget maybe we could pull out that might be a nutrition choice or something else? Maybe it's a supplement, maybe it's something else, that it's a simple thing that we could do today as the average person before we've gone and had a consult with you, before we've gone and talked to a functional medicine doctor. Is there something we can pull out that might just be overall good, simple thing to lead us in the right direction of becoming more physically healthy, more mentally healthy, or more emotionally healthy?
Right. Well, like I said, the one easy thing is getting the good quality supplement, right? Because that has made a difference for so many people. They get more energy, they're sleeping better. Even within a couple of months, if you get the right one. Um, as far as I would say, I always tell people the JERF principle, right? The just eat real food. So taking out, I mean, it sounds like a no-brainer, but still, like taking even the healthy processed food, like go for little or no processing, eating real food. It only has one ingredient itself, right? So focus on protein, vegetables. Like if you just ate meat and vegetables most of the time, I know people will be like, oh, but that would actually be a pretty healthy way. All the food, the macronutrients are kind of in that. So
I love that.
it,
That's exactly. I love that. That's where I was going with that jerk principle. Sorry. That's great. And so Kristy has a special offer for us, and there'll be a link that'll pop up, Take Charge of Your Health /Kristy. So tell us a little bit about that offer and why it's unique, and a piece of advice that you would give to those who are watching this summit.
Well, like I said, the main thing is that you need to finally discover the actual right information for you, right? So we've been so misinformed our whole lives about what's healthy and what isn't, so that even if you're trying to do the right things, it doesn't work. I think most of my clients come to me on the healthy diet, right? And it's not working. So, and it's not rocket science, but it is science based. It's based on how your body actually works, on good quality, evidence based studies, science that's actually been proven to work on real people in real life, right? So, so my gift here for everybody is I have a webinar that you can watch where I myth bust a lot of this misinformation. Okay, because I basically boiled it down to 5 key principles that people aren't getting right. And that's what's keeping you from feeling and looking great and having all the energy you need to live your fabulous life that you want. And you know how you don't know what you don't know? This webinar kind of clears it up for you. So I explain what the 5 principles are and what you should be doing. And in each of those, like the little nuggets that we took out there, like each one, there's just something that you can do kind of starting today sort of thing. So I think you've got a link to it there, or you can go to KristyRussHealthCoaching.com/yourideallife, put little dashes between the Your Ideal Life thing. But go there, watch it, start creating the healthy lifestyle that's going to give you your ideal body and life. And don't worry, like I know I talk about food choices and food stuff. It has nothing to do with dieting, because those don't work, right? And I'll give you a little secret for you. There's a great gift for you at the end when you watch it. So that's kind of my gift to you. Most people don't know it. So hey, stick around to the end, and it's a quite a valuable gift, I would say.
That's wonderful. That's very wonderful, Kristy. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for your time, for being on the Health Summit today. Stay tuned. There'll be more great things coming with Take Charge of Your Health. So if you have just joined us, thank you for watching today. And if you've been with us, thank you for continuing to watch. There'll be some more great ones coming through. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kristy.
Thanks.
Zoom.